The online education space is dying. All the fake gurus are going to go bankrupt. You heard it here first. What's happened is the online education space has changed forever. AI has disrupted it all, and trust in the online education space is at an all-time low because there's so many fake gurus out there who have taken people's money and burned them, not giving them a good service in return. And that's happened to so many people now since the online education space exploded, sort of COVID times. So many people have spent 5, 10, 15 grand on what's supposed to be a mentorship from some of the biggest property gurus in the space, and they haven't received anything back in terms of support or a result that they were probably guaranteed. So what's happened is, over time, people have just lost trust in the market. You know, everyone looks like a charlatan at this point. So if you're watching this and you're considering working with a property guru, so to speak, do your research first. You know, try and find as many testimonials as possible. Try and find some good reviews. And I think you should be getting a feel for someone. You know, you should trust your gut instinct with someone you're looking to work with. You know, you should be able to look on their socials, look on their YouTube, watch some of their long form content, and maybe ask around before you commit to anything, just to check that person's credentials, because there are a lot of people that are still taking people's money and they don't really have the skills to warrant taking that money from people, you know, and they're just giving a mediocre to substandard service, and it's just ruining the market, you know. And then when there are good consultants out there, it just makes it more difficult for us to work with the good clients, because they look at us and think we're the same as the fake gurus who are just winging it, right? So you can see these guys online now, you know, they seem desperate. They're running ads constantly, trying to get you onto like a VSL page or book a call, and they're spending money trying to acquire new customers. But what's actually happened is even the ads world has gone crazy because the spend has increased. So I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago you could spend £100, couple £100, £500 on acquiring a new client by running ads. And if you're selling at a high ticket price, you know, you're good, because you can spend a few £100 on ads and make back 3, 5, 10 grand. So it makes sense. But now the cost to acquire a customer, not just book a call, because people will book calls, but to actually convert on those calls, it's probably costing upwards of like 600, so maybe even £700. So what that's done is filtered out a lot of people. It's become very expensive to run ads, and if your organic content isn't very good and your personal brand isn't very strong, then your only chance is to run ads. But the cost to acquire a new client is so expensive that it almost makes it not worth it, especially if you've got staff that you're paying. You know, a lot of these fake gurus have employed like a mentor to work under them to work with the students, and then they just market people and drive people into their program or mentorship, and then they delegate the work to someone else, and that costs money, you know. So not only have you got your increase in ad spend, but you've also got to pay people's salaries. You've got to charge a high price to a market that is more skeptical than ever. So the cake's getting smaller all round, and I personally can spot these guys from a mile away. because they just seem like they're dying for your money. It's probably their only income stream. A lot of them haven't even got profitable rent-to-rent businesses, if that's what they're teaching. But yet they're still trying to sell consultation services for that to naive people, vulnerable people, people who want to replace their income. So do your due diligence. Make sure you can see a lot of testimonials. Make sure you can clearly see the person you're considering working with. You can see how they work. Are they transparent? You know, we've got so many long videos online on YouTube of me actually working with people, and you can get to see like some of our modules, my coaching style. You can even see people who have started working with us, and then you can see their whole journey. In a few months time, they've got their first deal, rent-to-rent deal, they're making money. You can go on my YouTube and watch videos of people just like that from the start to the finish. You can see me doing rent-to-rent deals from start to finish, from cold Gumtree leads to closing. All that is recorded on YouTube. Loads of proof of net income, not revenue or gross income like a lot of these fake gurus like to show you. And yeah, if you don't choose me, choose someone else, but make sure you've done your research, because you don't want to spend 5 grand, 10 grand and not get anything back, you know. That's just going to put you further backwards. So that's my rant for this morning. Watch out for the fake gurus. The online education space has changed forever. There's even more charlatans in this market than ever before, and you have to be extra wary and do your research on people before you part with your hard-earned money. Make sure they can actually help you get to where you want to go. So if you do want someone to help you support, if you do want someone to help you get your first couple rent-to-rent deals and start your business, I'm currently running a 6-week challenge. It's called the Rent-to-Rent Deal Sprint. It's a 6-week sprint towards getting your first rent-to-rent deal. You don't need any prior experience. You don't need more than 5-6 grand to start. You do need determination. You do need time, at least a couple hours a day to put into this. And you can work with me one-on-one for 6 weeks, full access to my calendar, my personal phone number, to WhatsApp me whenever you need me, access into my inner circle of 63 other rent-to-renters, and we sprint for 6 weeks basically. You can book a call with me as many times as you need throughout those 6 weeks. I'll do the work with you and we'll get you set up, making offers, going on viewings, making offers, and the goal will be 20 viewings, 4 offers, and normally that gets my clients their first rent-to-rent deal. So that's what we'll be doing with you guys. If that sounds interesting to you, then I'll put a link in the video description below. It's only £166 to start, 3 payments. You will have to have PayPal to qualify for that. If you haven't got PayPal, then it's 500 up front, and you can employ me for 6 weeks. If you want to continue and you want help scale into 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 rent-to-rents at the end of the 6 weeks, then if things have worked out well and we've been a good fit for each other, then that offer will be there for you to join the 6-month program that will help you scale. If not, you can leave after the 6 weeks, and maybe you've taken enough. Maybe you've got all of my modules, all of my learnings, you've downloaded them, you've used me as much as you can, you've got everything you can out of me, and you're good with the 6 weeks, so you can work with that and go on and build your business from there. But it's a stepping stone, right? I understand that people are very skeptical at the moment, and to to pay my high ticket price right now might be a bit much for people. So come in for £500 or 166 for 3 payments, see my coaching style, work with me, and I'm quite confident that after those 6 weeks you'll want to continue working with me. And if not, that's cool as well. You know, we've got 63 active clients at the moment. We had 30 clients join us last year at a high ticket price, sort of 2-3k price point, so we're good. And like, from a personal perspective, I don't really need new clients at the moment. I'm pretty good. Another thing you should do to look when you're doing your due diligence on these gurus is try and see if they've bought any property, because that for me has been what's allowed me to be truly financially free. You know, a lot of these gurus will tell you rent to rent can make you financially free. It can help you quit your 9 to 5, but ownership is what really separates you from the crowd. I've put most of my money into buy-to-let portfolio, and that portfolio covers, you know, the average salary, and it goes up in value at the moment around 6% a year, 7%. I've got one house that I bought last year for 95 grand. I think it's just been revalued at 120, so some of them are jumping up like 20 grand in a year, which is crazy. So yeah, I've got my rent to rents, I've got my buy-to-let portfolio that goes up in value, so it pays me twice. I also get the rental income. So if you want to work with me, I'll put a link in the video description below. There's only 5 spaces. Once they're gone, they're gone. I don't want to hear anything in a few weeks time of, oh, I want your £500 offer, because once the spaces are gone, they're gone, right? So yeah, act now or probably regret it later.